Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So I wanted to talk to you today about how small farms are the wave of the future. This is how we're going to feed the ever-growing population of humans on this earth. Small farms increase biodiversity. They're actually sustainable in the sense that we don't need the fossil fuels. We don't need the heavy machinery. We don't need the pesticides. We don't need their fertilizers. All we need is our two hands and to think, to work smarter, not harder. So guys, let's talk about what large agriculture looks like. So large agriculture entails large machinery that they need a lot of fuel. As fuel costs increase, that's going to increase the cost of food worldwide, boxing out the people who need the food the most. So we really have to think through, is large agricultural commodity farms really the future? If we're so worried about taking care of the world and the land that we have, then we have to get out of the mindset that small farms can't feed the world, because the concept of large farms has only really been in play for like 60 years. And in that 60 years, we've seen warmer temperatures, colder temperatures. We've seen less biodiversity across the world in both plant and animal species. We've seen the quality and the nutritional density of our food decrease drastically. So food has gone from being considered food as medicine and an apple a day keeps the doctor away to be careful, don't eat that, because the toxins they're using to grow it can lead to cancer. And that is concerning. So what if we produce a lot of food for the world, if that food is not actually feeding people the nutrients, the minerals, and the health benefits that food is supposed to, right? So rather than continue to increase with these large farms that are leaving a carbon footprint, the mindset needs to shift to more small market gardens. We need to shift where people take the time to be personalized with their animals. Because I'm going to tell you, you can't tell me that a chicken factory or a mass producer of rabbits where they have thousands and thousands of rabbits on the property can give those animals the same care, love, and humane upkeep that we do here at Starkey Farmstead. So I'm able to give every animal that is on my farmstead my attention daily. So I'm able to catch illness, injury, disease very quickly. I'm able to provide these animals with proper, adequate airflow, shelter, water, food. I can individually pick food and herbs to help heal them when they don't feel well. Animals in a capo system simply don't get that. Those systems do nothing but leave waste and destruction behind them. So we, the people of the world, need to start asking that our government focus on funding for smaller farms. But people always will say, well, a small farm can't feed everyone. We don't need to feed everyone. We need to feed people in our regional areas. I'm not worried about shipping my food to Asia. I'm not worried about shipping my food to Texas. I'm worried about feeding the people in my parish, which is probably your county. I'm worried about making sure that people get nutrient-dense, local foods from me. I'm trying to bring back heirloom varieties and foods that are that have cultural significance to Louisiana. And that is what you should be focusing on where you are. It is a shame that we have just gotten so far away that the norm is to go to the grocery store and buy food from God knows where. Did you know that agriculture takes up 40% of the world's landmass, excluding Antarctica? So 40% of usable land is converted into some form of agriculture for the people to feed them. Now here's the problem. When someone wants to open up a 500-acre farm, they tend to go in and they degrade the land. They take all the trees out. They till the land very heavily. They kill off all the natural native insect populations and animals, birds that live in that area. In fact, they even take out the regional native plants to that area. And they bring in things that have been genetically modified, pop it in the ground. They bring in pesticides, they bring in herbicides, all into that area where it's never been before. They degrade the soil. Then you end up, from these large agricultural farms, you end up with dead zones in the Gulf of Mexico. Look at what's happening at the end of the mouth of the Mississippi to Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas. We literally have an algae bloom that pops up every year now, and it's really coming from all of the chemicals being used further north up on the Mississippi off of all those farms from the bread belt. When all your chemicals run off of your tilled soil with your topsoil, it goes into the Mississippi. Well, it dumps out in the Gulf of Mexico, and it is greatly affecting my state. Like, we're losing our ability to go out and get seafood from the Gulf, and what we do get is probably toxic as hell. And that's just me being completely honest with you guys. We have to change our mindset world over. We need to get back to more small growers to feed their areas. Now, for the elites and for people who like to mass consolidate companies so that somebody, one person or one group makes all the money, what I'm saying is going to be like, you know, fingernails on chalkboard kind of sound. They don't want us to talk about this. They don't want us to encourage small farmers to start up with 2 acres or 5 acres and produce food for their regional area. They don't want that because they can't make money off of that system. The same people that own CAFO systems, where they have 17,000 cows in an open area with no shade, they also are the ones that create fertilizer that you buy for your garden from the cow manure. They're the same companies that also create the feed that feeds those cows in the CAFO system. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, they have a monopoly going on there. So we need to get away from that. We need more people that own their own cattle, that sell local to people who want organically grown, grass-fed beef that lives their best life. And guys, that's what I'm here to encourage you to do today. Get out there, get started. There is a niche for you. There is a market for your vision that God's given you, because we need more small growers to save our planet. We don't need regulations that tell us that we can't drive vehicles and we can't have wood stoves. We need more regulations that say large farms can't keep dumping their chemicals into our rivers and killing off states below. We need more regulations saying that if you're going to farm 5,000 acres, then you're the problem. Your equipment is the problem, not us small farmers. So you guys have a blessed day. Please like, comment, and subscribe. In small farming, we can focus on biodiversity. We can focus on plant intercropping, companion planting. We can focus on food nutritional density. All right, we can come out here and we can encouraging the correct beneficials to come in to handle the pest problems for us, because I'm not worried about the overhead that large farms have. So larger farms need to usually monocrop so they can get their machinery in there and actually make a profit off of that crop for you. Cheap food is a thing of the past, guys. I know that that is what they have always told us, that larger farms grow cheaper food and that is better for the world overall. But really, what they didn't tell us is that the cheap food is what we're spending that money now by going to doctors constantly because we're ill from the cheap food that we eat. So I just wanted to give you guys just a small bird's eye view of our 1/4 acre market garden right here, showing you all the different plants that we're growing, all of the native species popping up in between the plants, adding soil biodiversity. You know, so I'm not always worried about getting out here and weeding out every little bitty green thing that I don't want. I leave it because some of this, they're basically native plants and they're gonna add what I need to my soil to make my food grow nutritionally dense. So small farmers, pay more attention to this type of thing, guys. I'm not out here with pesticides. I'm out here with rabbit urine, you know, as a pest deterrent because I can. Because I don't have 50 acres. I don't need the machinery. I don't need the employees. I can actually make a profit off of what I'm actually growing here. And I can do it organically, sustainably, using regenerative agricultural techniques. And I'm still able to feed my 4 CSA members, myself, my husband, and my 80-year-old parents.